Okay guys, this is my review for The Dark Knight Rises. It is a good movie, but there are some things that I don't like about it. Like, this isn't my favorite Batman movie. Like, out of all the Batman movies that I've seen and that I own, this isn't actually one of my favorite, but I acknowledge that it is a good movie. Anyway, I'm just gonna flat out say this now. The soundtrack for this movie is great. I love the soundtrack. I think the Dark Knight trilogy, because Hans Zimmer composed the soundtrack for the entire Dark Knight trilogy, you know, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, he did it all with a little bit of help for The Dark Knight. But I think the Dark Knight trilogy is what really shined the spotlight on Hans Zimmer as a composer. Like, the Dark Knight trilogy is how I came across Hans Zimmer. Like, this is how I discovered him, by watching these movies, and his score in this is amazing. He did such a good job. Now, this movie is based off of a lot of, mainly two books that I know. One of them I've read, which is The Dark Knight Returns. Another one is Nightfall, Batman Nightfall. I haven't read that book, I don't have it, but I'm planning on reading it. And that's one thing I have to say about the past Batman, like all the Batman movies that have come out. Just about all of the good Batman movies that have come out, like, and I'll just name them: Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises. All of them are great Batman movies, and all of them are based off graphic novels. Batman was based off The Killing Joke. I'm pretty sure it was based off The Killing Joke. Batman Begins takes a lot of inspiration from Batman Year One. The Dark Knight, that was based off The Long Halloween, and you can just see with so many things in that movie that it was based off The Long Halloween. Now, this movie pays a lot of respects and homages to, say, the first Batman movie, Batman Begins, Bruce visiting Jim Gordon in the black ski mask. The line where Batman says, "Does it come in black?" And the things that this movie carries on from the last Dark Knight movie is things like Rachel's death, how Alfred burnt that letter so that that wouldn't harm Bruce any more than what he already was, and also the lie that Batman and Jim Gordon had to make in order to protect the Dent Act, to keep all those criminals inside, basically. So everyone, like, the Dent Act has been enforced for 8 years. That's a really long time, but we see all these characters from the previous movie all old and weary and tired, and honestly, the vibe of this, it looks and feels like they just came out of a world war or something. I just like how The Dark Knight had such a big impact on this movie, because if they didn't explore the aftermath of The Dark Knight in this movie, then I'm pretty sure this movie would kind of, you know, go down a couple of notches. But it does explore that stuff, and it does it really well. Now, concerning the characters of this movie, we get some characters back. We get Catwoman, we get Bane, and I'm going to say we get Robin back. I know Christopher Nolan said that, you know, Robin will never be in his movies, but the fact is, he is Robin in this. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, Blake, his actual real name isn't Blake, it's Robin. So I'm going to say that we get Robin back in this movie, because we kind of do. I just love seeing him interact with Bruce/Batman. It's just, now that I know that he's Robin, it's just great to finally see it. Now, Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, I'm not going to say that she did a bad job. Her performance was great. I'm acknowledging that she did a great job as Catwoman, but for me, she's not my favourite. I'm not saying she's bad. She did a great job as Catwoman, but my favourite isn't really her. Now, Bane in this movie is probably the spotlight of this movie, like, as from a villain standpoint, because there are, like, a lot of villains in this movie. Bane is by far the biggest and best one out of this, and he is done so much better. There's no doubt that Bane was done incredibly well in this movie. Now, the League of Assassins come back with Bane leading them. Bane is the one that is behind it. Now, I did say Bane is great in this movie. He is so awesome and epic, but this is the one thing that I don't like about this movie. It's the fact that they brought the League of Assassins or League of Shadows, they brought them back. Don't know why they did. There wasn't really any need to. So they could have, my whole thing with this is they could have explored, they still could have used Bane, but they could have told a different story. Like, they didn't actually have to bring the League of Shadows back into the story. For me, it feels like they were just running out of ideas and like, oh, let's just throw the League of Shadows in to make it feel like a big epic trilogy. And just a quick summary of the story. Basically, Wayne Industries has made a nuclear power source that is unlimited, energy. Bane, leading the League of Shadows, wants to use this to, kind of put the city under a hostage situation. So the city will inevitably, blow up and be destroyed, but he wants to give the people hope and make them think that they actually have a chance, but in reality they don't. So he put it in a way of, he put it like poisoning their souls and diminishing them, and that idea works. Not the actual plan, but the idea that you can poison someone's soul like that kind of works. But why, when Bane does it, is that bad? But when Robin does it, that's acceptable. I just don't, that's another thing that I've never liked about it. So basically, Batman comes back. He is ready to fight Bane. Obviously, he wins. But this is when we get shown that, holy crap, Bane isn't actually the one behind the League of Shadows. It's Talia al Ghul, who we've seen, have interactions with Bruce and other characters in the movie earlier on in the film, and she's come out as, Talia al Ghul, and I kind of like this because she is the one character in this movie that wasn't in the previous Batman movies, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, whatever, but her death was not satisfying, and nah, just didn't work for me. But overall, this is a great movie. I will admit that I have never been so conflicted on a movie like this before. Like, I love this movie, but at the same time I have quite a bit of problems with it. So I'm kind of like 50-50 on this movie. So yeah. Anyway, please go down, like and comment on this video, and subscribe to my channel for more videos and to get notified when I upload my next Batman or Superman. Wait a second, we've got one more movie and then Batman v Superman. See you guys later!